Welcome to Beauty in the Breakup podcast. I am Julie Tootin, and I invite you to the possibility of moving beyond the upset and creating your lighter and brighter future. Have you experienced repudiation in relationships? Have you ever been in one of those situations where you're maybe sitting across the table from somebody and they're just constantly talking at you? It's like they've got hold of you and won't stop talking. And if they inadvertently throw in a question, how are you doing, or what's going on for you, and you say half of a sentence and then that clicks something else in their mind, and then they just start talking over you about their experience with whatever that thing was that got activated. And it's like all you can do is just sit there. This is one of the aspects of repudiation where you're basically invalidated as a being. You're invalidated and rejected at the same time, while they're wanting to have your full attention on them. It takes a lot of energy to be on the receiving end of that, especially if you're in resistance to it. And I just experienced a couple of days of that with a person who just has absolutely no awareness of it. I don't necessarily get that it's a malicious thing. I get more that it's a lack of presence. It's almost like they're just reciting the tapes that get activated in their head, and they wait for something to happen to activate it, and then they have to spew out that whole recording or they don't feel fulfilled for some reason. And anywhere that we try to cognitively understand, we get this interweaving of cognitive dissonance, which can make you feel really crazy and not know what to choose. So I'm going to use the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement here to clear away and help change any of these things that I've brought up so far. So everything that is up in your world right now with repudiation, with interweaving of cognitive dissonance, will you destroy and uncreate all the energy that you have locked up in that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, povads, basies, creations, and beyonds. Whew. And that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. It's sort of like your magic wand abracadabra to clear the energy on all these different levels, regardless if you know what all the acronyms stand for or not. The first time I heard it, I had no idea what it was, but I physically felt a release of tension in my body, and it shifted out of pain to relaxation. And I was like, oh my gosh, what was that? That was magic. I need to learn about that. So if you would like to learn about the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, you can go to, there's a website for it, theclearingstatement.com. And you can also go to my YouTube channel, and I have a playlist where I go into each one of the aspects of it individually on short videos. So check it out. But let's go back into this interweaving of cognitive dissonance, because that is a thing that has been up recently in Access Consciousness. It's like when you don't understand why somebody chooses what they choose or what their crazy point of view is, it's like you go into their world or into their mind, and you will find all kinds of conflicting points of view, and then you try to resolve or come to some sort of awareness with it, but you can never get to awareness with it because they're functioning from cognitive dissonance, which is two opposing points of view to like almost everything, which is why there's not peace in their world. So everywhere you're trying to figure out what would create peace for someone else and get stuck in this interweaving of cognitive dissonance, will you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. And take a deep breath, because there's a lot of energy moving with this. You may or may not perceive it, and that's okay. Maybe listening to this a few times, you might start to perceive it or start to hear what I'm saying. It's funny because when I speak to exactly the thing that's going on, it will be hard for you to hear the words, even though I'm speaking English. It's an interesting, energetic transmission that begins to unlock those places within you where you have invalidated your awareness, suppressed your awareness, turned it off, made it wrong, disengaged, and then got stuck in the trying to figure out to solve what's going on. Awareness will always give you clarity. Awareness will always give you clarity. And if you don't have the clarity that you're seeking, asking questions opens up awareness, and making choices creates more awareness. So what choices can you make when you're being repudiated? One thing that's really nice to do for you is to take yourself out of the situation, to go for a walk, go into the woods, go by the ocean, be in nature, and allow the acoustical vibrations and energies of nature to dissipate all that electrical cognitive dissonance. It's amazing how nature has this ability to smoothen out all that static and invite you to become more spacious, to become more of the being that you really are, and less contracted. When you're being repudiated, it's like you want to just pull in and contract your being and protect it, and that's actually the opposite of what would be helpful, but this is what we do when we're triggered. So choosing something different, choosing to go into nature, choosing to be away from that toxic relationship will help. And also choosing to expand instead of contract in the moment. If you've built your muscle of being the infinite being that you are, and the muscle of perceiving and knowing, receiving, you can expand even when you're triggered. But it takes practice and a lot of awareness to know that you have that choice. And interestingly, when you do expand in the face of situations where most people would contract, it feels really weird and different. It's almost like you're so much space, you can perceive the discomfort in their world. And so I think a lot of people perceive that and want to contract so that they don't feel it. But if you expand even further and further and further and get bigger and bigger and bigger, then all of the discomfort disappears and dissipates in that space. And you can listen through the silence of this space to know what other people can hear. And oftentimes it's nothing. And so you can just sit there and nod your head and be like, oh, yes, right, ha 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 ha, and just be there for them, because that's all that they require. And anywhere that you desire the other person to be different, desire the other person to take interest in you, to actually receive from you, you have to look at it is, are they even capable of it? And if not, that's not your fault. That's just the other person being what they're being. And maybe they'll change and maybe they won't, but it is not up to you to do anything to make them different. What if you could take care of you, honor you and your body, to be the space, to be present even if somebody else is not being present with you, to practice being with interesting point of view, that this is who they are and this is what they're choosing. It's just interesting. You're not required to do anything. And what else is possible? I think the biggest takeaway is to not make yourself wrong for somebody not receiving from you, not being present with you. Sometimes they cannot. It seems strange, but sometimes they cannot. And so having allowance for them being who they are and you being you, and nobody's wrong and nobody's right, can give you the space and the freedom to be you, to not contract, and to continue creating your life in the way that you desire. I hope this has been helpful, and if you would like more information on expanding your being, check out my YouTube channel. There's a playlist for expanding exercises and guided meditations that can help make all of those challenging times in your life be easier. How does it get better than this? Thank you for listening to Beauty in the Breakup podcast. If you enjoyed the tools and information in this podcast, please leave a 5-star rating and subscribe to the podcast. And please share it.